Howdy there, strange new Trek fans. This is Henry Janeway. Little engineer's log for you, supplementing our last episode, our review of episode 4, Among the Lotus Eaters. And for those of you that managed to tune in, one of the things that we made just a little bit abundantly clear is that me and the captain were not big fans of that episode. These things tend to happen sometimes. Sometimes shows that we love just put out things that one fan or another just can't stand. And, what do we do in situations like that? What do we do when our shows disappoint us? I, for one, maybe I should correct myself. Disappointment is a little bit of far stretch there. It was a fair episode, just wasn't to the captain and my's liking, which I think for Star Trek nowadays, we can point to quite a few examples of certain things that are not to many people's liking, which, is totally fine. And as we have talked about on the podcast before, there are episodes and even series that my and the captain don't quite like. It even differs between the two of us, as I'm sure it does between some, most, if not all of you. So what do we do in these circumstances when we have an episode of our favorite show that we're not particularly jazzed about? I, for one, as many of you know, like to delve into beta canon. Once again, I recommend the Star Trek novels to anybody who has a genuine interest in looking beyond the shows and the movies that Star Trek has provided us over the decades and to dip their toes into something new. Something great that maybe you haven't experienced before. You might be interested in checking out our episode called Beta Radiation, where myself and the captain go through one of the Star Trek Destiny novels and also talk about a couple of our favorite fan productions that have been out there on the internet as of the last couple of years. Another thing that I personally like doing is delving into other science fiction. I could be basic here and recommend some of the big greats like Star Wars, Stargate, a lot of other ones. But one of the favorites of mine is actually an anime out of Japan called Space Battleship Yamato. That's a very good show if you're looking into getting into something maybe Star Trek adjacent, but definitely more action-oriented. Another thing that you might consider is looking into some of Gene Roddenberry's other works. While it was made posthumously, I've been recently getting into a show called Andromeda, which, if I remember correctly, I've been mentioning on the show at least once or twice. But it's a very good series. Production quality, maybe not there by today's standards, but excellent series, I think, and definitely worth the interest of anybody who considers themselves a decent fan of science fiction. There's another one, Earth 2052, I believe it's called, that was also produced based off of old Gene Roddenberry concepts for TV shows. Another excellent series that you should check out. Essentially, there's just so much content out there that you can support and consume for yourself that isn't Star Trek related, should you, say, come upon an episode that maybe didn't float your boat and maybe you just need a break. But for myself, what I like to do in these circumstances is go back for a rewatch. I'll turn on Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, my personal favorite, Voyager, really anything. As a lot of you listeners know, I'm not particularly jazzed about Enterprise, but I've been opening myself up a little bit more to it. Currently in the part of the show where they just start going into the Delphic Expanse. And I'm going to be honest, I'm actually having a genuinely good time watching it. It's still not my favorite, but maybe I do give it a bit of a harsh rap every now and then. But, these things happen, and we do try and do things just for the entertainment of you listeners here. But my overall point with that is that even sometimes when our favorite shows let us down, it's important to keep watching. And it's important to keep watching because we end up getting more Star Trek out of the deal. Maybe what we have out now isn't your cup of tea. Maybe Discovery isn't your deal. Maybe Strange New Trek even. is not your favorite Star Trek, and maybe it's your least favorite Star Trek. But it's important to keep watching. It's important to keep supporting the content. It's important to let the producers know that we want more Star Trek, because you never know when something good is going to come down the pipeline, and you don't want to miss it and be the one left out. That's for sure. So this is Henry Janeway signing off. Hope you have a fantastic week, and can't wait to see you with me and the captain on the next episode of Strange New Trek, coming out very soon. Thank you.